do, 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 do. And maybe, okay. It seems like it's kind of working. So I don't have all the super chat animations back up and running yet, but I do have some semblance of stuff working around here. Good to see you guys. Oh man, what a weekend this has been around the Anti-Trekker residence. So I'll fill you guys in. Obviously, yeah, and I know my shirt is it's a very bright green, so I didn't think about that. Oh well, just gotta live with it. So obviously, most of you know there was an incident in Nashville on Christmas morning. A few hours later, pretty much all services related to the Alabama Tire and Towing Company went offline for Middle Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, and sporadic outages elsewhere all around the area. Now, I happen to live approximately 40 miles south of Nashville proper. And we're kind of part of the extended Nashville metro area. And so we were definitely impacted. I have the Alabama Tire and Towing for my internet provider. Their fiber internet is actually pretty good. So, but unfortunately, it went dark just as I was starting to live stream on Christmas. I felt horrible. I had no idea what was going on until many hours later. I knew about the explosion, but I didn't realize that the explosion had done damage to their power systems and they were running on the backup batteries. So when the backup batteries ran dry and they hadn't restored power, everything went offline. And so then, it was dark on the internet until late yesterday. And here we are. And so I apologize, guys. It was really my intent to live stream for at least a couple of hours on Christmas to hang out with you, and I feel horrible about it. I don't even know what all happened as far as with you guys. I feel like it's so weird because I've been out of contact with you guys for the last 3 days, and which is like crazy. There was no Sunday morning live stream because I didn't have any internet then. It's just, it was rough. I mean, I didn't realize just what a intense part of my life this channel has become until it was gone for a few days, and I had no way to really do much because, my phone just, where I live, I don't have a strong enough signal to be able to live stream regularly from my phone. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get right into it. So Darren was first saying, oh no, he's back. Yes, indeed, Mr. Wagner. What a jerk he is. The Bee's Nest says, nope, don't work. Oh, well, never mind then. Richie says, you're back. Maybe. Malfi says, hi. Bee's Nest says, your internet is still down. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. Andrew says, hi. How you doing, Andrew? Greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Mike Richards, thank you as always for joining us. Bird Opre 5 is in the house, says Kapla. And Bird, thank you for reaching out to me when obviously when he realized something was obviously wrong when my live stream went silent right when I was getting started. He texted me. Thank you, Bird, for reaching out. I appreciate it. And those of you that had alternate ways of contacting me that did, thank you all. I appreciate the concern. Obviously, we were nowhere near where the incident took place directly to where we would be in any danger or anything, but that is just a little close to home when something happens in your general vicinity. Andrew says, I'm honored to be one of the first. Well, I'm honored to have you here. And NY1HAE589, because, man, that is just such a great username because it just rolls off the tongue. NY1HAE589. It says, good evening, how you doing? NY1HAE589. Valor says, how are you and the family? Glad to see you back. Doing okay overall. Joshua was really disappointed because we have kind of a couple of traditions that we do on Christmas every year. One of which is to watch a bunch of the classic holiday specials: Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus Coming to Town, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But we cut the cable a while back, so we watch it all through streaming services, and we couldn't. So we actually had to dust off the old PlayStation 3 and start digging through the attic, grabbing some DVDs. Fortunately, I did find a DVD of the Charlie Brown Christmas special, so we were able to watch that one. And then we watched a couple of movies, and but it was just it was a little frustrating because we couldn't do our tradition. Bees Nest says, I'm kind of pissed. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Hope you're doing okay. Daniel says, welcome back. Thank you, Daniel. E says, I live an hour from Nashville. I had no phone or internet for 2 days. Yeah, a lot of people impacted, man. I didn't know you were in this area. So hour from Nashville, that's just a little bit further away from Nashville than I live. Darren says, we can see through. Oh, I already said. Yeah, Robert says, hello. How you doing? Yeah, I know I'm already behind in the chat. And let me tell you real quick, because if I suddenly cut off, I want to make sure that that you guys know what the plan is. So tonight I'm going to be streaming for approximately 1 hour total. And so we got a hard stop at 8:30 p.m. Central, because that's when Life with Matthew is doing the virtual pub, and I will be joining him over at the virtual pub. I have my glass, I have my scotch. I am ready for the virtual pub, the last virtual pub of 2020. I cannot wait for this year to be over. And don't forget, Thursday night, if you've never joined us for one of our Thursday night live streams where we watch movies, we're going to do a New Year's Eve cheese extravaganza, disaster movie, ultimate extravaganza to celebrate the disastrous year that was 2020 by watching Sharknado and Sharknado 2 back to back. Please join us. It'll be a lot of fun. And yes, you can watch the movie with us. So I hope that you will join us. Andrew says, you sound a lot better, by the way. Do I? Okay, I'm not sure why the sound would be affected, but good, I guess. I think Bird of Prey 5 may be the new Church Life Guru on Sundays. That's a scary thought. Darren says it's the ghost of Andy Trekker's future. Okay. And then Andrew says, yes, I saw that. Oi, yeah, it was bad, man. Fortunately, I'll say this for the crazy guy that did the deed in Nashville, is that at least he went out of his way to prevent any loss of life. So kind of odd, but at least he did that. Moxley says, hello, how you doing today? Karoganite says, Viva Karoga Internet's anti-checker. Viva Karoga, Viva anti-checker internet service. Yes, indeed. And NY1HAE589 says, hello from Vallejo, California. Wow! You are in Vallejo, I will tell you. My parents, when they retired, they built a nice place in Lower Benicia. You know right where that is. And me and Mrs. Andy Trekker lived in Vallejo for some time, actually. And so, very cool. And Vallejo, by the way, Vallejo, California has the distinction of being the single most diverse city in the United States, or at least it did a few years back. Because pretty much every single ethnic group is equally represented in Vallejo. No joke. And by the way, NY1HAE589, let me tell you how deep my Vallejo roots go. And because since you live there, now I'm trying to remember the name of the main street that runs down, man, what street is that? It's gonna drive me crazy now. But I was the manager of the Nation's Foods, Nation's Burgers, right there in Vallejo. So yeah, love it there. All right, so and Bees Nest. I'm not going to get into the. Well, first of all, the target, as far as being, it was not the office building. Now, this guy was smarter than that. He wanted to disrupt services, not people. And so he actually, it's kind of interesting because he parked the vehicle in front of what we affectionately call the Batman building, the AT&T building in downtown Nashville. He parked it there, then he moved it over to where he actually set it off, which was actually much more devastating than blowing it up in front of the office building. The office building would have just been cosmetic damage. A lot of people don't realize how those systems work, but I worked for Comcast for like 15 years. I'm very well versed in exactly what happened there. And let's see. Andrew says, that was my internet for all of Christmas because of the winds. Oh, that sucks. And Darren says, consider this, and puts a link in for a nose hair trimmer. Thanks. Wow. Jerk. Bees Nest says, born and raised in Nashville. Very cool. Did not know that. Glad you're back, but nothing you can control. Yeah, Eon, but it's still, or Ion. It's Ion or Eon? Ion, I assume. I mean, it was out of my control, but I hated it. You know, I felt bad because the whole point of doing the live stream on Christmas was to be there for people that needed a little bit of friendship, a little bit of company on a day that, while most are celebrating, for some can be very, very depressing, especially this year when so many people couldn't travel when they wanted to. So I felt bad, even though I knew it wasn't my fault intellectually. I know that, but emotionally, I still felt bad. Daniel says, just got home from Walmart. Lots of great specials at Walmart. Got Discovery Season 2 for $10. Well, yeah. I didn't buy it. Gap Stargate says, love your broadcast. Thank you, my friend. Biza says, now that seems more legit. Let's see. Yeah, it was the where they it wasn't even, it's not what you would call a switchboard. It's the at least now I don't know what the AT&T terminology would be, but at Comcast it's what we would refer to as a head end. And a head end is basically just a hub that where you transmit and receive digital communications through. And the way that Comcast is set up is that you have a head end generally for each city. But then they are all linked to a centralized head end that covers a region. And then those get their feeds from the various networks directly. And so, and of course, they also are connected to the fiber ring, which is jointly owned by several corporations, including AT&T and Comcast and others. And so, but the head end itself is what it appears that was actually targeted. And where was I? Let's see. Doing great. Good to hear that, Andrew. John DeMarco is in the house. Good to see you, John. Alex says, Dear Anti-Checker, how would you have written Spider-Man 3? Well, since you say how would I have written Spider-Man 3, I'm assuming you're talking about the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3. Honestly, I think that they should not have pushed for Venom. Venom did feel like a tacked-on story. I would have simply focused in on the Sandman story and the Harry Osborn story, and I think it would have been a far better film without Venom. And Sandman was plenty threatening enough. And honestly, I liked the Sandman arc in that story. I like the fact that at the end, Spider-Man ultimately forgives him. I thought that was a powerful message and something you don't see in action movies very often. Usually, the movie ends with the villain doing something horrible, forcing the hero to kill them, so that the audience would feel like the villain got their just desserts. But in this particular case, you actually had a moment of forgiveness at the end, and I thought that was good. But yeah, everything involving the Venom and the symbiote, I think, should have been axed. That's just my humble opinion. I think that Spider-Man 3 could have been a really good movie that was about a half an hour shorter. All of my clubs were, and by the way, you could have still introduced Topher Grace as, Eddie Brock, and then set up Venom for a future film. That would have been perfectly fine. But I think they just tried to cram too much into one movie. Same mistake they made with Amazing Spider-Man 2. And Beesnut says, all my clubs was on 2nd Avenue. I was there at least 3 times a week. Oh, okay. What, you have clubs? What do you mean? Are you like, do you hang out at clubs a lot, or you own clubs, or you just like, because if you own them, hey, you need to hire a nerd to broadcast from your clubs, because I'm for hire. How rose-colored are your glasses regarding Star Trek? Not very, Bruce. Honestly, when it comes to Star Trek, I consider myself something of a realist. I don't like where the franchise is right now, but I also do hope that in the future it will improve. I hope that Strange New Worlds is a good show. I think that Picard and Star Trek Discovery have been abject failures as far as maintaining the Star Trek franchise, but I did not hate Lower Decks, which I know pisses off a lot of people. But I did not hate Lower Decks. And I still hope that Strange New Worlds is good. Andrew says, I know I'm in the ground zero of COVID-19 uptick here, 0 hospital beds. That's scary. Yeah, indeed. But at least they have a vaccine out there now. So hopefully we start to see a reduction in COVID very, very soon. People from over 20 miles away could hear the explosion. Oh, yeah, and I don't know if you've seen the footage of the explosion caught on that security cam, but dang, that was pretty serious. John says, glad you're safe and back online. Thank you so much. And then, let's see, not sure. Whoa, and then, of course, the chat jumped on me. Darren says, there's a rumor that Doctor Strange and Loki, or rather a version of Loki, will get a rematch in the next Doctor Strange film. If true, it's going to be fun. That could be fun. Honestly, that could be very good. You're back. You dodged the FBI again. Yeah, whatever. Mouthpiece says, Did you a Christmas Story? Always love that. No, we do. We honestly, the movies that we tend to watch are like we've watched Krampus a few times, which I know doesn't seem like a Christmas movie, but it really is a good one. But we like the classic holiday specials from when me and Mrs. Antitrekker were young. And then I'm trying to remember what all we watched because, man, we didn't have much to do but watch movies. Anyway, let's get back to it. Daniel says, if I buy you a pizza, will you admit you like Star Trek Discovery? Well, why? You know what, Daniel, I love you, man. You know that. But why would I lie to you? I don't hate you for honestly, and you know this. I don't hate you for liking it. But I'm sure you don't want me to be dishonest with you. And so honestly, and you've heard my opinions. The first 2 episodes of this season of Discovery, I thought looked good. And then the show completely fell apart, in my opinion. And it's like Thomas Potts sent me a video today about how basically the Ba'ul did nothing wrong by trying to exterminate the Kelpians because the Kelpians ended up wiping out the Federation. So, yeah. So, no, I will not admit that I like Star Trek Discovery because I don't. That's the truth. Let's see. Andrew says, I'll be here the entire hour. Wow, very cool. And you should come join the fun over at Life with Matthews stream. It is always a blast over there. And I'm sure someone will, if not me, will get the link when that comes up. And Matthew will probably stop by and say hi, too. But, yeah, Life with Matthews virtual pubs he started during the height of the COVID thing because people need to blow off a little bit of steam socially. And it was a great idea. Did you hear that Andy Serkis will be directing a live-action mocap version of Animal Farm? I did not. But if anybody could do that, I could see Andy doing it. And drinking an organic margarita. Okay. I've never had an organic margarita, but I do like margaritas. If you like vodka, Russian Standard is great. I do like vodka. It's a great mixer. And in fact, that's what I like best about vodka is that vodka you can mix with everything. And I saw someone put in a super chat. And I just realized I didn't have my super chat dashboard up. So let me make sure I have it here in case I missed anything. And no, that's weird because it's showing stuff from like 4 days ago. It's the last time I got a super chat because of that craziness. but I didn't see it pop up on my screen. Let me see. Is StreamYard's enabled? It should be. Let's turn that on. We'll see what happens. And so hopefully it will pop in. But I'll get to your super chat in just a minute. Well, let me. Oh, there it is. Hey, it worked.
Controls the universe.
Star Trek never did a Christmas tree. Show either shows why.
You know, it's funny. Star Trek. The closest I think. I mean, the Star Trek did show Christmas in Star Trek Generations. We saw Picard celebrating Christmas with his make-believe family. And they did in fact show a Christmas tree. So now back in the original series, the closest they came was Thanksgiving, which was in Charlie X. They actually talked about Thanksgiving, and but yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other mentioning of the holiday season. Not popping into my head, but yeah, I think they just. You know, Star Trek isn't one of those things like the Star Trek holiday special. You know, it just wouldn't work. Moxley says hello. How you doing, Moxley? And let's see. Ready for this year to be over? I'd strongly advise cancel 2021 too. Yeah, probably not a bad idea. You were sick a couple of live streams. Yeah, I've been dealing with my sinuses all year. It's still bugging me, and not much I can do about that, but I appreciate that, Andrew. I appreciate the concern, and that I do, if I sound better, good. Donnie says, hello, Michael and all. Hope everyone's Christmas holiday weekend, the final weekend of 2020, was as joyous as mine. I do as well. Mine was frustrating because of the whole situation with Alabama Tire and Towing, but other than that, it was, I got to hang out with Mrs. Antichecker and Joshua. That was great. I just felt bad because I couldn't hang out with you guys at all. And let's see. Darren says, so how do you like your brief excursion into living like it's 1989? Yeah, I know. Tonight we partied like it's 1989 again. Where was I? Let's see. Commodore says that's $10 too much. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm sure I said something, but I don't remember what. Welcome back after Kuroga tries to take over church life with Kuroga Life. Yeah, they'll try, but it's Kuroga. They suck. Darren says Discovery Season 2 for only 10. Oh, that's what it was. That's $10 too much. Okay. Discovery Season 2 for only $10. What a waste of $10. Come on, guys. Daniel says, there's some weird conspiracy theories out there. People are saying the new vaccine is the mark of the beast. So that, you know what? I understand that, but, honestly, Darren, my man, I know you love some good conspiracy theories. You should start doing a conspiracy theory live stream every week. Because you want to talk conspiracy theories, Daniel. Darren Wagner's your man. And Fed is in the house. Good to see you. Says you're back online. Good to see you. Yes, indeed. The Kurogans could not stop me. They tried, but they couldn't do it. And Admiral's Vol, you fixed the super chat. Yes. No, I just got my internet back, Admiral, but and which was sucked because I had to re-authenticate XSplit and stuff. I was waiting for my internet to come back on, so I have XSplit working again, which is good. Now I get to rebuild all the super chats, so that's my next project that I'm going to be working on this week. Captain Trek is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Resolute says, don't feel bad about missing Christmas stream. LDG was able to do a wonderful stream in your place. That's scary. I'm just saying. Daniel says, there's no way the Spider-Man could kill Sandman. Well, could have killed Sandman. Well, Daniel, you're not necessarily true. You could argue, for example, can Sandman die? He's a comic book character, so they always come up with ways to bring them back. But if you heated up Sandman enough, you could glass him. Even in Spider-Man 3, you saw that he doesn't do well when it comes to exposure to liquids. So if you permanently encased him in some kind of liquid, he would probably drown. But I would think glassing him would be the best way to take him out. How goes the new turd cave? Not very well. I'll be honest with you, T-Berg. About the last 3 or 4 weeks, I have been in a whole lot of pain, so I haven't been able to get any physical work done around the house. But I will keep trying, my friend. I hope, like I said, I have got so many high hopes for 2021 at this point because 2020 just sucked. Dear Eddie Trekker, what's your favorite Matt Fewer performance? Mine is Rasmussen from TNG. Well, I don't know. And Fed, thank you so much.
Karoga Church Life. I see. Well, there is but one answer to such heresy, albeit in the ways of the Imperium. Purge the heretic. Charges for Lema.
You know... Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Fed, you are now the official. While Thomas is taking sabbatical, you can lead the mighty Turdistani army into the invasion of Karoga when the time comes. So, anyway, as far as Matt Fewer, I had to look him up just to make sure I was thinking of the right guy. So, yeah, he was the Traveler in TNG. He was also Max Headroom. So... I don't know. I mean, honestly, I would probably have to. Let me look at his IMDb page, see if there's something I'm not thinking of here. Let's see. He was. Oh, I forgot. He was. Oh, how do you say it? Moloch in Watchmen. I completely forgot about that. I actually liked him in that. It was a very serious role for him, but I liked him there. Looking at stuff that liked him in 12 Monkeys. Let's see. Wow, he's been in a lot of stuff, although a lot of stuff that I haven't seen. He was in Taken? I didn't see that, but I mean, I saw the movie, but I don't remember him. Let's see. Generation X. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Moloch. I forgot that was him. So that's going to be my official answer, and I'm sticking with it. All right, so where was I? LDG is saying Jolie tried to fill the boots. Sure, LD. When it comes to TOS, you don't have rose tinted goggles. You have friggin' ruby quartz goggles. Hey, you know what? I get that reference. Jerk. Is it me or is Anti-Trekker ghosting? Yes, it's not you. It's the shirt that I'm wearing is a bright green. And so let's see. Picard was good. Was okay, but not worth the $29.99. You know what? I liked Picard's first few episodes, but I think it completely fell apart at the end. So honestly, that's why I didn't like Picard. Is that if the problem is these shows they don't understand that Star Trek does better as an episodic show, and the reason for that is because Star Trek sometimes does very well, sometimes it's pure cheese, and every series has got great episodes and bad episodes, except Discovery and Picard, because they're so serialized that you have to judge the entire season as if it was one extended episode, and so they don't have a chance to really shine. All right, so Andrew says, I'm actually one of the participants in the Pfizer vaccine trial. Very cool. I hope you do well then, Andrew. And when Pfizer gives you your millions of dollars for being a guinea pig, please share. Alex says, dear editor, what do you most want to see in an upcoming RoboCop movie they're going to ignore 2 and 3? Well, honestly, embrace the cheese. I didn't even know they were doing a new RoboCop movie, but if they're gonna do a direct sequel to the original RoboCop, embrace the frickin' cheese. Make the suit look like it looked back in the day. Do the I'd buy that for $1. Do the whole 9 yards. and really embrace the universe for what it is. If they don't, then it's just going to be another reboot, reimagined kind of thing like they did with Total Recall. And Total Recall was an abject failure because while it had better visual effects, it didn't feel like Total Recall. Admiral Saval wants to know how far behind is Anti-Trekker. Lots. Captain Trek says, I will be here, but not over on the other stream. I'm sorry, Captain Trek, but you're always welcome there. Darren says, hey, Trek, Church Life is no longer the Anti-Trekker channel, by the way. Bird is our Sunday morning biatch now. Well, okay. Darren says, Andrew, interesting that Thanksgiving was in Charlie X. It's an American holiday after all. It's not like they celebrate it in Italy or France. True. And it's funny because, well, maybe by the 23rd century it is because notice the line, I believe Kirk says something like, something like whatever the next day is on Earth, Thanksgiving. So like maybe it is in fact an Earth holiday in the 23rd century. Robert says, well, $600 has been confirmed to come back for the people. The 2000 has passed this Senate. Just have to see if the House will pass it now. You know, it's funny. I heard the exact opposite, that it passed in the House, but we have to wait for the Senate. I don't know. You know what? Whatever happens, happens. So is Anti-Trekker on the Alabama Tire and Towing Internet or his cell service? Star Trek had Christmas in Dagger the Mind. Kirk, that's right. They mentioned the Christmas party. Thank you, Richie. Helen Newell is the Science Lab Christmas party. You are right. I forgot about that. And Darren says, Alabama Tire and Towing, what happened to your truck now? I keyed. Okay. CV Hawkeye says, at what point did you become the Anti-Trekker? I assumed you liked Star Trek at one point. I love Star Trek, CV Hawkeye. And if you're curious about it, go to my channel and you will see a video there titled Why I'm Called the Anti-Trekker. It's the when you go to the channel page, it's the featured video. Because when people ask me that, I always point them to that because it's too long an answer to give every time somebody asks. And what was that for? Oh, I think it was check the phone here, make sure it's not something urgent that I need to worry about. Okay. Anyway. I see. I'm glad you're back. The internet is running smoothly. As for mine, it was epic thanks to my new NFC West champion, Seattle Seahawks. Woo! Well, I don't follow sports ball, but I'm glad that your Seattle Seahawks are doing well. I don't know what the Tennessee Titans are going to have to say about that, but I'll watch the Super Bowl. There was an episode where Voyager got turned into a tree ornament. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Like Q did it, I think. Sean says, Darren and Anti-Trekker Thanksgiving was likely started by Europeans rather than indigenous people at the time. Many religious groups give thanks in the fall. Well, Thanksgiving is an American tradition that has a very specific origin. But as far as giving thanks in the fall, nobody has a copyright on that. But they were specifically talking about the holiday of Thanksgiving. But hey, whatever. Dear Anti-Trekker, what's your favorite Showa era Godzilla movie and why? Well, I'm not 100% sure what the Showa era refers to. Like, I always thought of Godzilla as like Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. So I'd have to look at what that is. So I can see the Showa era Godzilla. Okay, so it looks like those are like... That's the original Godzilla. So it says the Showa era, 1954 to 1975. That's a tough one because there are some serious films in there, such as the 1954 Godzilla And then there's some just bad movies like King Kong versus Godzilla. And then there's the absolute cheesiest Godzilla movie of all time, which is Godzilla versus Megalon. So, but I remember seeing Godzilla versus Megalon in the theaters when I was young. So I'm going to go with Godzilla versus Megalon. There you go. Andy Checker, take a drink, Darren. Andy Checker, have you ever played the Star Trek Encounters or Star Trek Legacy? They came out in 2006 to the PS2 and Xbox. William Shatner came back to play Captain Kirk. I have not. Mainly because, honestly, there aren't very many good Star Trek video games. But we'll see. Let's see. So I become War Master then. This should go well. Indeed, Fed. Indeed, it should. Why would any sane person want to invade Kuroga? Well, to liberate Kurogans. He was not the Traveler. Well, okay, maybe I misread that. I must. Was Matt Fury not the Traveler? Let me look. Oh, you're right. He was the Time Traveler dude, the scamming Time Traveler dude. I did like him as that though. Thank you, LD. I glanced at the picture and I got him confused with the Traveler. My bad. And let's see. Captain MKG says, glad to see Andy Checker having a beer, have a great stream. Well, I hope you enjoy your beer, even though I hate beer. And I will enjoy my scotch on the virtual pub in approximately 25 minutes. Andrew says, so far so good. I'm actually donating the money I'm receiving. Well, that's good. But you should donate it to me because, you know, I'm a greedy bastard. There's supposed to be a direct sequel to the original RoboCop titled RoboCop Returns. And I hope that and a direct sequel to either 1978 Superman the movie or 2006's Superman Returns. Why would you want to... First of all, there was a direct sequel to 1978's Superman the movie. It's called Superman 2. And if you want to see the best sequel, it was Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. The problem is that the ending of Superman 2 is the same as the ending of Superman the movie because the studio recut the ending of Superman the movie when they fired Richard Donner. That being said, Superman Returns was an attempt at doing a direct sequel, and look at how well that turned out. Because nobody wants to watch Superman lift up a mountain of kryptonite as the climactic scene. They want to see Superman fight things, but the problem is, while I think they did a better job in Man of Steel, I think that they needed to tweak a couple of the characters to make them feel a little more like their original characters. I think that the action in Man of Steel was great, but unfortunately, the characterization, particularly of Jonathan Kent, was horrible. Let's see. Uncle Remus says, hey, Edger, what are the chances we see a young CGI Kirk voiced by William Shatner in the season finale Discovery? CGI Luke worked for The Mandalorian. I find it highly doubtful because my understanding is that William Shatner is none too fond of Discovery. But I would be very dubious of that. And by the way, just because CGI Luke worked, that's only because the story worked. It has nothing to do with the fact that it was Mark Hamill. So honestly, don't give too much. And this is the problem that sometimes studios think, oh, CG Luke worked, so let's bring in CG Kirk, or let's bring it. No. It's not about it being CG Luke. It's that Luke was the organic, natural choice for the person to come rescue the child. No reward. And thank you, Mexican Iron Man.
All hail the Anti-Trekker stream. May your battles with Bird be victorious and thereby expand the holdings of Anti-Trekkers into galactic holdings.
Thank you, my
The
friend.
spice must flow.
The story of Genesis in Kurogan, the after effects of the Song of Genesis aka SCP-407. Enjoy figuring that one out.
Yeah, what? My brain ain't that good. I'm not going to be able to figure it out tonight. But thank you. And yes, Kuroga will indeed fall. There is no question of that. I understand that Bird, you know, because he was here a few minutes ago. I see there's another chat coming up, but that might have been from a while back because I'm so far behind. But, you know, Kuroga's going down. 2021 is the year that Kuroga will burn. I think. Uh, let's see. He was the traveler. Yeah, I got that. And thank you, Malphus. But yeah, I realized it when after LD said it first, and thank you, LD, for correcting me on that. And never let it be said that I can't be corrected. Jeez. Bird of Prey 5 says, hey, Chuck, it's not my fault. People seem to like my church life better. We started with random Bible verses and then went on to Kurogan version of Genesis. Well, you know what, Bird? Whatever. I hope you had fun. I do. But I felt horrible that I couldn't be there for my regular Sunday morning stream. But thanks, I guess, for what you did, even though what you did sounds like it was more blasphemy than anything else. But thank you anyway. Sci-Fi Nation's in the house. How you doing, Sci-Fi? Says greetings. Donnie says, as do I. I'm not sure what to, but thank you, I think. The house, I meant, sorry for the switch. Aruni, no problem. I understand. It's easy enough to get those two mixed up. Alex says, you're at a trigger. How would you write a Doctor Who reboot? I would probably start by taking The Doctor Reads the Doctor by the Doctor, written by Dr. Alex Lees, and use that as a blueprint for... there's no need to reboot Doctor Who, ever. He's a freaking time... You just regenerate into whatever you want him to be. That's the beauty of the character. And as far as continuity schmontinuity is the BBC's rule on that. They don't give a crap. So you just reboot it in and just say, yeah, it's always been this way, because that's what they do on Doctor Who. But I wouldn't want to take on writing a Doctor Who reboot, because I don't know the characters well enough to do it justice. I mean, I could sit there and do some rewriting for Star Trek, for Star Wars and stuff. But Doctor Who, while I enjoy, I'm not a big fan of. And so I don't know it well enough to know the Doctor, to know the lore, to know all that stuff that would be really important. So I can't say. But thank you for thinking of me on that. But yeah, unqualified is my plea on that one. And Daniel said, oh, you meant as do I, or let's see, as do I. Yeah, I'm not sure. Daniel says, have you seen Armageddon with Bruce Willis? It was a scary movie. I remember I was crying after I saw that movie. Hope it does not happen in my lifetime, or at least when I'm 80. I wouldn't panic about it, Daniels, because if an extinction level event type of asteroid hit Earth, it's not like you're going to suffer. Flash, bang, it's over. Just like that.
And I thought you just had one of those faces. Lifelong Trekker / Bay Area guy. B. The 4th of April 1967 in SF. Discovery and Picard are very weak storytelling-wise.
I agree with you, and it's funny because, yeah, now, just so you know, NY1 HAE 589, and thank you for the $5, by the way. Lifelong Trekker for me as well. I was born just almost exactly a year after you. I was born on April 20th, 1968. And I agree. Discovery and Picard, very weak storytelling, which is what really breaks it. That, and they've lost the inherent optimism of Trek. That's why I really don't like them. Not because, I mean, all Trek has had good and bad episodes, but these, they just get so nihilistic on these shows that it gets downright depressing. And as far as Bay Area, so I grew up just north of you. I don't know what part of the Bay Area you grew up in. I know you live in Vallejo now, but I grew up in Santa Rosa, if you know where that is. On a ranch. Actually, it wasn't in Santa Rosa, but I was outside of Santa Rosa on a ranch. Lewis Cox is in the house, says, hey, Anti-Trekker, how are you? I'm doing as well as I possibly could, which is certainly better than the alternative. Uncle Remus says, Anti-Trekker, what do you think about DC releasing 4 to 6 movies per year? I think the DC movies are going to be movie of the CW superhero shows going forward. Wonder Woman 84 is hot garbage. I've not seen Wonder Woman 84 yet. I've meant to. Well, I was going to over the weekend, but my internet was out, so I couldn't. So I don't know how that one was. I've heard some reviewers say it was good. Some reviewers say, nah, I'll reserve judgment for when I actually see it. Although I will tell you, based on the trailer, not all that excited. As far as DC trying to release 4 to 6 movies per year, if we're talking Suicide Squad and Harley Quinn and crap like that, count me out. Don't care. You know, honestly, I did not. Some people like Suicide Squad. Hey, more power to you. I didn't. I thought it was garbage. I think that Man of Steel was a solid film. I think that Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition, was actually pretty good. Granted, I think that the Doomsday part should not have been shoehorned in, but I thought it was pretty good overall. And then, unfortunately, Wonder Woman was good. It was solid. It was better when it was called Captain America, but it was good. And then, of course, the entire universe came crashing down with Justice League. It was a complete garbage pile. Then they went with the lighthearted stuff with Aquaman and Shazam, both of which were enjoyable. But Wonder Woman 84, it looks like garbage again. So, I don't know. Joker was great, but that's not really part of the DCEU. But we'll see what they do. I don't know. DC has put out some great movies, some crap movies. Marvel, say what you want, but they've been consistent. Darren says, love King Kong versus Godzilla. Saw the last movie of the Showa era in a theater. Damn it. It featured my all-time favorite kaiju, King Caesar. Never cared much about King Caesar, but I'm glad that you like King Kong versus Godzilla. I did not. I thought that it was stupid, and I think part of it is because that was not frickin' King Kong. Danny says, I like Godzilla vs. Megalon, Godzilla vs. King Kong. Those were good movies. Did you see Jet Jaguar returns in Star Trek Discovery? Yeah, Jet Reno. Jet Jaguar was that movie was so cheesy. And Daniel, how can you love Discovery and love Godzilla vs. Megalon? I don't understand that. Viv and I were talking, and I said that Godzilla was a Mary Sue of the monster universe, while Viv disagrees with me, so I figured I would ask someone who was around for all the Godzilla movies. That's an interesting question, but Godzilla does not win 100% of the time. So, and the funny thing about Godzilla, he's also not universally loved. There are movies where Godzilla is the terrible villain, such as keep in mind, in 1954's Godzilla dies at the end of that movie. And then basically there have been several direct sequels to that movie, ignoring all the rest of continuity, where they come up with some way of bringing Godzilla back from the dead. But yeah, Godzilla does not win every time, and Godzilla is as frequently the villain as he is the hero. So I don't think I would call Godzilla a Mary Sue. Just very, very powerful. But with Godzilla, it's really even hard to call Godzilla a character at all. Godzilla is a walking plot device. And there's Mexican Iron Man and Feds Super Chats. Thank you both. Uncle Remus says 2020 can go F itself. The COVID vaccine is going to infringe on everyone's freedom, so I agree with Darren. If you don't get a vaccine, you'll be limited to where you are allowed to go with vaccine registry. Wow. Okay, guys. I'm not going down the paranoia train. Not going to do it today. Arabic says, glad you're back. Thank you, my friend. Professor Brainy Spax says, oh no, you're back online. Oh, hi, Anti-Trekker. Oh, hi, Professor. Good to see you, too. And by the way, I look forward to seeing you on the virtual pub in approximately 13 minutes. Hopefully, let me see if... okay, yes. Fortunately, Matthew was thinking ahead this time and gave me the link. So I'm going to copy said link, and bear with me just a minute. I want to make sure I do this. So I'm going to paste this into the chat, and then pin that comment. All right, so now let me go back to where I was. There we go. So the link I just pinned at the top is the link to the virtual pub, which will be starting in approximately 12 minutes. And so when the virtual pub starts, I will bid you guys a fond farewell, because I will be joining Matthew on the virtual pub, as is my tradition. Also, guys, just so you are aware, I'm going to take, well, I got a minute. I'll take a minute to tell you guys about this. So, my work schedule is going to change in approximately midway through January. January 16th is the last day that I'll be working my current job schedule. I was supposed to know what my new job schedule is going to be about a month ago. I have no idea. So, hopefully, I'll be able to tell you soon what my live stream schedule and stuff is going to be like. If it comes out the way I want it, I'll be able to produce a lot more videos and do more regular live streams. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But got to wait and see. So keep that in mind. And hopefully it will be good. All right, where was I? Alex says, Dear Trigger, how much of Clone Wars have you seen? Cad Bane is an awesome villain. I've not seen Cad Bane that I know of. I've seen the first 3 seasons, I want to say, of Clone Wars, and I've been wanting to get back to it since watching the last season of Mandalorian. Your green screen ninja is shadow bleeding through your t-shirt. Yes, that's because my t-shirt is a bright green shirt. Salavi. CBS All Access will have back to the Harrison Ford Disney money truck over to Shat's place, and he will appear. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they can afford to. Honestly. Bird of Prey is laughing at something, not sure what. And Sci-Fi Nation saying, all hail Kuroga. No, you got that wrong. I think that Professor Brainy Specs knows the correct iteration of that statement. If you're still here, Professor Brainy Specs, make sure to straighten out Bird and Sci-Fi Nation on how to say it correctly. Joseph says, you're absolutely right. Luke in the last Mando episode might have had some slightly wonky CG, but the character belonged there at that moment. Exactly. And it actually fits so well because, like, you might be thinking, oh, Ahsoka, right? Except that why would Ahsoka be there? First of all, she already rejected training the child. Second of all, even if she hadn't, she's not really technically a Jedi, right? She has Jedi training, but she's not technically a Jedi. And so that actually makes sense that it would not be Ahsoka. As far as it being, I can never remember the name of the character from Rebels, Ezra or something like that. Or Ezri, however you say it. I haven't seen Rebels yet, obviously. But it wouldn't make much sense for it to be a character that nobody's ever heard of and has had no introduction to an adult audience. And I apologize, guys, but hey, cartoons, not all adults want to watch cartoons. So that's just it. Anyway, so then Luke, however, is the only known Jedi Master to be alive in this era. And so he would be the logical choice. And so it flowed organically from it. To have Kirk show up at the end of Discovery would just be like him going, hey, I'm Captain Kirk. Ain't I great? You know, it wouldn't make any sense from what they're doing right now. Keep in mind, the entire 2-season arc of The Mandalorian has been him trying to find a freaking Jedi, and we all knew full well that the only Jedi Master out there was Luke Skywalker. And so we were thinking, oh, wouldn't it be cool if he could meet Luke Skywalker? Too bad that'll never happen, especially after the last... Holy crap, they did it! You know, so kudos to them. All right. Richie said, Antrigger's quantum state is slightly out of phase with our reality. That's what it must be. Captain Trek says, hail on Kuroga. Thank you, Captain Trek. You stole Professor Brainy Specs' line there. But you are 100% correct. Mako says, Bird's church life made me an atheist. I am sorry to hear that, Mako. We will have to reconvert you this coming Sunday. The first church life of 2021. And boy, 2021. It's going to be a better year. I just have that feeling. Andrew says, if I may ask, I realize that religion is a sensitive subject for some. Guessing you're not super religious then. A blasphemy comment just made. Pure curiosity. Actually, Andrew, I am quite religious. I just don't like wear it on my sleeve, so to speak, but I'm very devout. And if you ever are curious about my religious beliefs, join us on Sunday mornings. I do a Sunday morning live stream called Church Life. We've been joking about it a little bit here because since I wasn't able to do it this last Sunday, Bird of Prey did a live stream, of course, mocking it for the most part. But every Sunday morning, I do a religious themed live stream. And I've just, if you're curious about my theological stances on things, that's the time to talk about it. I don't generally talk about religion in depth other than that. Also, Life with Matthew is also an openly religious person. When I'm over on his live stream, which will be in just a few minutes, actually, in 7 minutes, you can always ask over there, too. Link for that live stream is right up there. Well, actually, it depends on where the comments are for you, I guess. So wherever the pinned link is, go there, and I will be there in a few minutes. Now, what's the deal on the Borg playlist? Had a blast going through the whole thing with, and very anticlimactic. 2-star. I know. I need to get. I do need to get the Borg series completed, and I feel horrible about that. And 2021, man. 2020 was a very, very difficult year. I'm not going to whine about it now, but 2020 was quite literally the worst year of my life. 2019 being the second worst year of my life, and you guys are the only reason I made it through it. So 2021, I'm feeling optimistic, and I'm feeling like, okay, I'm going to get back to the Borg. I'm going to get back to the stuff that made me love Star Trek. And so rather than focusing on negativity and stuff. All right, let me try to get through a couple more chats before I got to wrap it up. Wish you a very good day, sir. Greets from Germany. Oh, good to see you, my friend. I hope you are doing well over in Germany. Ich bin ein Berliner. Is that what he said? So, ich bin ein Trekker. Dear Anti-Trekker, have you seen The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth? Yes, to both. I think that both were fun movies with Muppets. They were both pretty good, but yeah. Let's see. Sci-Fi Nation. Anti-Trekker was born on 420. That actually explains a lot. Yes, indeed. That is true. Insert jokes here. Hail, Lord Bowel Mover, the number one of number two. All hail, King of Turkestan. You've returned to this great bowl called YouTube. Boy, that's a... Thank you, Darth Maul. Okay. Daniel says, if the whole mark of the beast, end of the world come, I will suffer plenty because I can't go but movies and games at Walmart or what. I wouldn't panic about it. I will not panic about it because you know what, Daniel? If it happens, it happens, and you can't stop it from happening. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and you got stressed out for nothing. So, just saying. The Suicide Squad looks good. James Gunn hasn't screwed up so far. Well, don't get me wrong. I have every confidence in James Gunn. I'm just not interested in Suicide Squad. I honestly just didn't care for it. And if you like Suicide Squad as a film, great. I didn't. Not my cup of tea. Let's see. Alex says, are you looking forward to Godzilla Singular Point on Netflix? No, I do not have Netflix. So won't be watching that. I am, however, looking forward to the Godzilla vs. Kong or Kong vs. Godzilla or whatever they call it. Valor says, after serious MS relapse ended up with me in the ER now, she won't let me out of the house without a mask. Well, good for her, Valor. That's called taking care of your man. So shut up and take it like a man. Multi-Gunman says, hey, how's it going? Not too bad, Multi-Gunman. For the next 3 minutes, I'm here, but then I will be over at Life with Matthew's channel. Link in the wherever the links are. Let's see. Sean says, technically, Luke is not a Jedi. He was trained as a Jedi, but not formally one. Wrong answer. Yoda said that as soon as he faced Darth Vader again, he would be a Jedi, and he faced Darth Vader again. He is a Jedi. And so Yoda actually did make that very clear, that when you face Vader again, then and only then a Jedi will you be. If Discovery had Captain Kirk appeared, they'd screw it up somehow, probably make him a transgender homosexual black woman. Yeah. Anti-Trigger, Brendan Prey 5 did the best he could with church life. That I do not doubt you. Multi-Gunman says, Matthew is a really good guy. He is. And Bird says, I wasn't mocking Anti-Trigger. I honestly, Drew, I haven't seen it, so you know what? I will reserve that. I'll say this. If you were really trying to make the Genesis from Karoga, that whatever. I don't feel like you were mocking Anti-Tracker. No, I'm not talking about mocking me. I'm talking about mocking the Bible. That's what I mean. That's why we call it blasphemy. Doesn't mean talking against me. Blasphemy is talking against the Bible. And so, yeah. But don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean you can't have a joke. It just means that, I mean, I'd have to watch it. I don't know. But Bert's not really, a Christian, so I wouldn't expect him to behave in a Christian-like manner anyway. Not like I'm going to judge him for it. He's still my friend. We're still going to invade Kuroga, of course. Herbsta says, don't feel guilty, Ed Trigger. You a good man and don't need the guilt. Oh, thank you, my friend. You had me at Godzilla, says Healthy Gunman. Oh, man, I wish I could do that sound. Professor Brady Specs puts in the link to Matthew, and of course it's at the top of the chat in the pinned comment there as well. So please, please, please go join us right now. I'm going to be signing off. I actually managed to catch up through all the anti-Trekker stuff. But Robert's the last one here. Says, will you be getting one of the KFC gaming console? Yes, it's reality. It will be capable of 240 frames per second. And also, you'll be able to keep your chicken warm with it. I have not heard of it. Wow, that's hilarious if true. Richie says, Bird did a great job with Church Life. You should check it out. I will when I get a chance. Professor Brady Speck says, I am last. I am always last. And in this one instance, you truly are, Professor. And with that, good night. And come on over to Life with Matthew. If you don't, then shame on you. Because you should.